And so for this adventure, we're going back to 2015 in Thailand, where my first visit to Koh Phangan required a few modes of transportation, arriving in Bangkok, but only waiting a few hours before taking another flight to Sadet, which only takes an hour, but gets you closer to the island of Koh Phangan, where a boat is still needed and a bus ride from the airport. But once you get on the boat, it's pretty much straightforward. You just sit back until you get there, taking 1 or 2 hours depending on the boat that's available. But soon you arrive at Thong Sala, which is the main town, and welcomed by my friend Giz, who's the regular to the island and knows a little place in the far north called Chaloklum, a quite peaceful part of the island, with cafes, restaurants and a few convenience stores amongst the palm trees. The small village community seemed to live in that perfect island paradise and a popular destination for regular scuba diving and lessons. But all of that to discover later, as settling into some digs at the Crow Bar community was first on the agenda. Landing this little jungle hut like a set for the 1970s Apocalypse Now movie, embedded in the trees and immersed in nature. And this is where my obsession riding two wheels started, having to get around with a scooter. The first thing I did was make sure I knew where the petrol station was, and then followed Giz to this mountaintop bar where there's a great view and there's a hammock and even a drum kit is sitting in the corner. I love this place. Very shanty, very treehouse, great view, and all I could see was the beach, which was next on the agenda. A quick swim into Malibu Beach, one of the perfect little spots. I never want to leave this place, to be honest. But it wasn't until I visited Hammock Lovers in Bantai that I discovered another part of myself.
We made a hammock in the jungle in the north. Now my friend organized
Really?
the production, for 17 years. And
17
we don't get a shop
years?
here there, we sell them here.
A hammock lover and then a hammock addicts.
Usually we are hammock lover, but I myself, I sleep in hammock every night.
So this wonderful soul here is Mr. Moon from Hammock Lovers in Koh Phangan, and it was in this very moment that I was convinced to become a hammock lover myself. And so hammock on the balcony, my paradise, steps onto the scooter, first time having two wheels with this kind of freedom, and with the beach just being a 2.5 minute scooter ride from the jungle hut, it made that morning swim even more feeling like I was living in paradise. And for this ESL teacher at the time, it was just what the doctor ordered, exploring a tropical island on a scooter, looking for the next cool hangout, with the mountain lookouts being my favorite. But heading further down the coast, there were some really nice beaches as well. Hudson Beach Bar was one of my favorites, but plenty more down this coast, which we will explore. But my favorite beach for the end of the day was Coral Bay, just at this little spot specifically, and also because there's a bar just on the corner of this beach where you could finish off the evening. And if you've been to Koh Phangan recently, tell me how it's changed since 2015, and drop a like if this kind of slow life fits you. From the very first day on the islands, the Crow Bar became my home away from home. The day of my first arrival, the huge barbecue and buzz of the place was real. Music, laughter, the kind of night out that makes you feel you've already found a community. Another draw to the island for me was the necessity to have a bike and the ease to get one. But don't be that guy without the helmet, as accidents are quite frequent. So on my next trip, I rented my friend's house, a bigger space this time with unexpected luxuries and a perfect hammock spot. And so the perfect vacation was now in full effect. Riding around the island, looking for the best beaches, and even some of the parties. Some of you might be thinking, where are the parties? As this is the party island of Koh Phangan, where full moon parties and half moon parties is the main tourist culture. And as much as I enjoyed the nightlife, the daytime cruising around looking for the best beaches was really all I was here for. And so West Coast beaches were usually the quickest locations to reach, and great for making new friends while watching beautiful evening skies with some of the most photogenic sunset couches. One of my favourite spots was L'El Couve on Hin Kong Beach, a French bistro with good wines and cocktails. Another good spot to finish off the night, with laid-back vibe and open-minded discussions, meeting a few graffiti artists and musicians on this occasion. But it was in Thong Sala that I was directed to a traditional bamboo tattooist with the coolest palm-shaded jungle bar situated around the back. And in case you're wondering what I got stumped with, well, unfortunately I didn't really capture much Gonzo in Thong Sala, always on the road looking for the next place to visit, and even Haad Beach, famous location for full moon parties, got very limited coverage. And that's because most of the time when the sun was out, I was somewhere else. The best beach on the island was Haad Sadet. And for me it's the best, as I could fully submerge deeper into the ocean, as most of the other beaches I had been to were quite shallow. Haad Sadet Beach was a popular spot with spectacular views and scenery, a hammock heaven, and not the only beach in this area, as Thong Sala Crow Bar Beach was a resort that I could gate crash and also good for deep swimming. And when it's time to head back to base camp, the 50-minute ride back due to the mountain range between enriches the experience even more. Getting back and parking the bike up for the night meant I could hit the local for live music and drinks, as the Crow Bar was special at this time, with many folk I could relate to well, a place where I could easily unwind and enjoy the entertainment. And on this occasion it was the live music that brought the crowd, and great for networking opportunities, like this time, meeting an experienced scuba instructor who convinced me to join him on a dive the next day. This was my first time trying anything like this, and I didn't hesitate. From the very first moment under the water, I felt at home. The whole point of this experience was to help me overcome the fear of deep water. That idea of what might be lurking at the depths of the unknown dissolved the moment I entered the ocean. Just remember to breathe and relax, as instructed by Neil, who had eyes on me the whole time. I believe the deepest part of this reef was around 40 meters, with many different diving schools visiting from a few of the islands in the area. I certainly didn't feel alone or scared at any time, rather with a sense of wonder of just being in a completely new world and floating life forms all around. I was amazed at how many variety of fish seemed so curious to the visitors, almost as inquisitive as the divers were to this new domain. And since making this video 10 years later, it's still the only time I've scuba dived. Certainly if I get the chance, I would do this again. It most definitely resolved my long lost fears and opened my eyes to a whole new perspective. And in no time, it was over. With much gratitude to Neil, who convinced me to take the plunge. And do you have an experience like this when a deep-rooted fear was converted into a sense of wonder and amazement? Let me know in the comments, please. Would love to hear your stories. This Gonzo adventure in Koh Phangan was one of many adventures captured in the moment as the experience took place, just like most content vlogs we see today. But in the true style of Gonzo journalism, the moments were unscripted and void of a plan, other than to document a lived experience on an island of my dreams. It was a comfortable vibe in the expat community, a tropical paradise full of creative souls. And seen here on Tony Cam, the Crow Bar was a hit on open mic night. Live music at Chaloklum also got my support, with its tranquil bohemian setting and perfect sound score for the finale of this video. And if anyone know the names of this group of lads, please leave a message in the comments. But in general, there were many places on the island I didn't explore. The digs were so cozy, surrounded by trees, and hammock time took over, just as Mr. Moon warned me. And when it's time to head to the beach, one must be aware of the snakes that belong to the island too. So head on a swivel and stay alert. This one was right under the tree, the entrance. But once acknowledging and giving them space, they will always move on. It might take some time, but after a while of being on the island, or anywhere in Thailand, there is only Thai time. But ever since discovering the vibe of this place, I managed to engage the same vibe within myself. And now I don't need to physically travel to the island itself, as the island will always be within my own heart, and therefore able to create that same tropical island vibe wherever I lay my hat. So thank you for watching what is not a travel or tourist video, but rather a Gonzo adventure, capturing live in the moment on the island of Koh Phangan.